Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt emotionally drained after spending time with certain people? Have you ever questioned why some individuals seem to thrive on negativity, manipulation, or constant criticism? We all encounter toxic people in our lives, at work, in friendships, sometimes even within our own families. The real challenge isn't just recognizing them, but knowing how to deal with them without letting them steal our peace. Today, I'm going to share 13 clever ways to handle toxic people effectively, without conflict, without losing yourself, and most importantly, without giving them control over your emotions. Because here's the truth, you are not responsible for fixing toxic people. You are responsible for protecting your peace. Let's dive in. Guard your inner peace. In life, few things are more valuable than peace of mind. It is the foundation of happiness, productivity, and emotional well-being. Yet, many of us unknowingly allow toxic people to disrupt this peace, draining our energy and leaving us emotionally exhausted. The key to dealing with negativity is not confrontation but protection. Protecting your thoughts, emotions, and overall well-being. The mistake many people make is believing they must tolerate toxic behavior out of politeness, obligation, or guilt. This is where we go wrong. You are not responsible for fixing toxic individuals or absorbing their negativity. You owe yourself the kindness of setting boundaries. When you allow toxic people unlimited access to your emotions, you hand them control over your inner world, and that is something no one should have the power to do. The first step to guarding your inner peace is identifying the warning signs. Toxic people often exhibit patterns of manipulation, constant criticism, or emotional unpredictability. They create unnecessary drama, shift blame, or make you feel guilty for things that are not your fault. Recognizing these behaviors early helps you prepare mentally and emotionally. Next, set firm boundaries. This does not require a dramatic confrontation. It simply means deciding how much access someone has to your energy. If someone's presence constantly drains you, minimize interactions. If their words disrupt your peace, don't engage in unnecessary arguments. If their actions make you feel undervalued, create emotional distance. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about ensuring you let the right people in. Another powerful tool is emotional detachment. Toxic people thrive on reactions. When you react strongly, they feel a sense of control. But when you remain calm, indifferent, or simply choose not to engage, their power over you diminishes. Silence is sometimes the best response. It sends a clear message. Your negativity has no place here. Protect your mental space. Fill your mind with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift you. Consume content that inspires you, and practice self-care. A healthy mind is less susceptible to external toxicity. Remember, peace is not something you find. It is something you create and protect. And it starts with the choices you make about who and what you allow into your life. Detach with grace. Walking away from a toxic situation doesn't mean you are weak. It means you value your peace more than unnecessary conflict. Often, we feel the need to explain ourselves, argue, or prove a point when dealing with toxic people. But in reality, the most powerful response is sometimes no response at all. Detachment is an art, one that requires emotional strength, patience, and self-respect. When faced with toxicity, many people feel trapped, believing they must either endure it or fight against it. But there is a third option, stepping away with grace. This doesn't mean you need to cut people off completely or hold on to resentment. It means choosing to remove yourself mentally and emotionally from situations that no longer serve you. So how do you practice graceful detachment? First, stop expecting toxic people to change. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that if we explain things better, if we show more kindness, or if we give them another chance, they will see the harm they are causing and transform. But toxic behavior is often deeply rooted, and change must come from within them, not from your efforts. Accepting this reality helps you detach without guilt. Second, reduce your emotional investment. You don't have to be available for every argument, nor do you need to absorb their negativity. If someone's words or actions are disturbing your peace, take a step back, engage less, respond less. When you emotionally detach, their words lose power over you. Third, let go without seeking closure. Many people stay stuck in toxic situations because they are waiting for an apology, a resolution, or a final conversation. But the truth is, you don't always need closure to move forward. Closure is a gift you give yourself when you decide that your peace matters more than unfinished conversations. Finally, walk away without bitterness. True detachment isn't about revenge, proving a point, or making the other person feel guilty. It's about protecting yourself while maintaining your dignity. You don't need to announce your departure, justify your decision, or explain yourself. Sometimes the most powerful move is a quiet exit, free from anger, free from drama, and full of self-respect. At the end of the day, detaching with grace isn't about giving up. It's about moving forward. And the moment you stop engaging with toxicity, you reclaim control over your happiness. Master emotional control. One of the greatest strengths you can develop in life is the ability to control your emotions, especially when dealing with toxic people. Toxic individuals thrive on emotional reactions. They push buttons, create drama, and provoke responses to feel a sense of power. But the moment you stop reacting, you take away their control over you. Imagine this. Someone insults you or tries to manipulate you. Your natural instinct may be to defend yourself, explain, or even argue. But what if, instead, you remained calm, unaffected, and unbothered? What if their words had no power over your emotions? That is true strength. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means choosing how you respond rather than reacting impulsively. Here's how you can master it. First, pause before reacting. When confronted with negativity, take a deep breath. Give yourself a few seconds to process before responding. This short moment of silence can prevent you from saying or doing something you might regret later. Second, recognize manipulation tactics. Toxic people often use guilt, blame, or passive aggressiveness to trigger emotional responses. Once you recognize these tactics, you won't fall into their trap. Instead of reacting, observe their behavior with neutrality. Third, practice emotional detachment. Not every comment needs a response. Not every argument needs your participation. Sometimes the best answer is silence. If someone is trying to provoke you, disengage. Their power disappears the moment you stop feeding into their negativity. Fourth, redirect your focus. Instead of dwelling on toxic interactions, shift your energy to something positive. Whether it's your goals, hobbies, or personal growth, focusing on yourself will make their negativity irrelevant. Finally, stay calm under pressure. Toxic people hate seeing you calm. They expect you to break, to react, to engage. But when you remain composed, you maintain control. The more unshaken you are, the more frustrated they become, because they realize they no longer have influence over you. At the end of the day, emotional control is your greatest defense against toxic people. The less you react, the more peace you preserve. And true power lies in knowing that no one, not even the most toxic person, can dictate how you feel, unless you allow them to. Choose your circle wisely. The people you surround yourself with have a powerful influence on your thoughts, emotions, and overall well-being. They can either uplift you or drain you, inspire you or discourage you, strengthen you or weaken you. Toxic people may enter your life by chance, but keeping them there is a choice. And that choice determines the quality of your peace, happiness, and success. We often underestimate just how much energy we absorb from the people around us. If you are constantly in the presence of those who gossip, complain, manipulate, or belittle others, you may find yourself feeling exhausted, unmotivated, or even questioning your own worth. On the other hand, when you are surrounded by people who encourage you, support your growth, and radiate positivity, you naturally become stronger, more confident, and more at peace. Choosing your circle wisely isn't about cutting people off without reason. It's about prioritizing the relationships that nourish your mind and soul. Here's how you can do it. Identify who adds value to your life. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Ask yourself, do they inspire me to be a better person? Do they support me without hidden agendas? Do I feel energized after spending time with them? Do they respect my boundaries and choices? If the answer is yes, these are the relationships worth investing in. But if you often feel drained, manipulated, or emotionally exhausted after interacting with someone, it may be time to reevaluate their place in your life. Limit exposure to negative energy. Not everyone can be removed from your life entirely. Some toxic people may be family members, colleagues, or longtime acquaintances. In these cases, the best approach is limiting their influence over you. If you must interact with them, keep conversations short and neutral. Avoid sharing personal information that they might use against you. Don't engage in their negativity. Stay emotionally detached. Create physical and emotional distance when necessary. The less time and attention you give to toxic people, the less power they have over your peace of mind. Surround yourself with positive, supportive individuals. The best way to combat toxic influences is by actively seeking out uplifting relationships. Look for people who celebrate your achievements without jealousy, encourage you during difficult times, listen without judgment, give honest advice with good intentions, inspire you to grow and evolve. Building strong, healthy relationships requires effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you choose to be in the company of those who uplift you, toxic people naturally lose their grip on your life. Understand that you outgrow certain people. Growth often comes with letting go. There may be people in your life who were once close to you but no longer align with your values, goals, or mindset. This doesn't mean they are bad people. It simply means you are evolving in different directions. It's important to recognize when a relationship is holding you back rather than helping you move forward. Outgrowing people is not an act of disloyalty, it's an act of self-respect. You are not obligated to maintain relationships that no longer serve your well-being. Set boundaries and enforce them. Even in close relationships, boundaries are essential. They protect your emotional energy and ensure that others treat you with respect. If someone consistently crosses your boundaries, whether through manipulation, excessive criticism, or disrespect, it is up to you to enforce those limits. Be clear about what you will and won't tolerate. Say no without guilt. Distance yourself from those who refuse to respect your boundaries. Don't allow guilt or obligation to keep you in unhealthy relationships. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-care. You deserve to be surrounded by people who respect and appreciate you for who you are. Trust your instincts. Sometimes, you can feel when someone isn't good for you. even before they show their true colors. If you consistently feel uncomfortable, anxious, or drained around someone, don't ignore that feeling. Your intuition is a powerful guide. If someone's presence makes you question your worth, makes you feel small, or brings out the worst in you, listen to your instincts and take action. Distance yourself from relationships that dim your light instead of helping you shine. Be the kind of person you want to attract. It's not just about removing toxic people, it's also about being a source of positivity for others. The more kindness, honesty, and encouragement you give, the more you will attract the same in return. Support others without expecting anything in return. Be honest, but never cruel. Celebrate others' successes instead of competing with them. Show empathy, but don't let people take advantage of your kindness. When you embody the qualities you seek in others, you naturally draw like-minded people into your life. Your circle shapes your future. Your environment plays a crucial role in your personal growth, mental health, and happiness. Toxic people don't just drain your energy, they delay your progress. Choosing your circle wisely is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. Surround yourself with those who uplift, inspire, and genuinely care about you. The stronger your support system, the easier it becomes to deal with negativity. And remember, you don't have to fix toxic people. You just have to stop giving them space in your life. Forgive, but don't forget. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many believe that forgiving someone means excusing their behavior, allowing them back into their lives, or pretending as if nothing ever happened. But true forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It is about releasing the emotional burden that toxic people leave behind, freeing yourself from resentment, and reclaiming your peace. However, while forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, forgetting is a mistake you must never make. Toxic people often repeat their harmful behavior. If you blindly forgive and forget, you may find yourself caught in the same painful cycle over and over again. The key is to let go of the pain, but hold on to the lesson. Here's how you can practice forgiveness while ensuring you don't repeat past mistakes. Understand what forgiveness really means. Forgiveness does not mean approving of toxic behavior, letting them back into your life, mistreating you, ignoring the damage they have caused. Forgiveness does mean freeing yourself from anger, bitterness, and resentment, choosing not to let the past control your future, recognizing the lesson in the experience, and self-respect. When you forgive, you are not doing it for the toxic person. You are doing it for yourself. Holding on to anger only keeps you emotionally tied to the very person who hurt you. Letting go does not mean you lose. It means you refuse to let them control your emotions any longer. Remember the pain, but don't let it define you. Many people struggle with forgiveness because they fear that letting go of anger means invalidating their pain. But pain is a powerful teacher. It reminds you of what you should and should not tolerate, who you can and cannot trust, and what you need to change to protect your peace. Rather than erasing the experience from your memory, use it as a source of wisdom. Ask yourself, what did this situation teach me about people? What did I learn about myself? How can I use this experience to make better choices in the future? When you remember the lesson but release the pain, you empower yourself. The past no longer controls you, it guides you. Set boundaries and enforce them. Forgiving someone doesn't mean giving them permission to hurt you again. If someone has shown toxic patterns, you must be cautious about how much access they have to you moving forward. Set boundaries, and don't be afraid to enforce them. If they constantly criticize you, stop engaging in conversations that allow them to do so. If they manipulate you, refuse to participate in their games. if they refuse to change, limit, or cut off your interactions. Forgiveness should never come at the expense of your self-respect. You can forgive someone and still choose to walk away from them. Forgiveness is a one-person job. Many people delay forgiving toxic individuals because they are waiting for an apology. But the truth is, some people will never acknowledge their wrongdoing. You don't need an apology to move on. Forgiveness is a decision you make for your own well-being. It does not require validation from the other person. If they refuse to change, acknowledge their mistakes, or take responsibility, that is their burden to carry, not yours. You don't need their cooperation to heal. You heal because you choose to, not because they deserve it. Protect your emotional energy. Once you have forgiven someone, be mindful of how much emotional space you allow them to occupy in your life. Just because you forgive does not mean they deserve your trust again. Trust is earned through consistent actions, not empty words. If someone repeatedly shows toxic behavior, don't be afraid to distance yourself. Forgiving them does not mean tolerating their negativity again. Protect your mental space by surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you. Learn to forgive yourself. Sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You may blame yourself for allowing toxic people into your life, for ignoring the red flags, or for staying in harmful situations longer than you should have. But self-blame only keeps you stuck in the past. Understand this. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. Every mistake was an opportunity to learn and grow. Holding on to guilt serves no purpose. It's time to release it. Forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others. It allows you to move forward with wisdom instead of regret. Use forgiveness as a tool for growth. Every experience, no matter how painful, carries a lesson. Forgiveness allows you to take that lesson and use it to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What did this experience teach me?" Did it teach you the importance of boundaries? Did it show you the true colors of someone in your life? Did it help you develop emotional strength? Painful experiences, when properly processed, can be stepping stones towards self-improvement. Use your past as fuel for your future. Let go, but stay aware. Forgiving toxic people is a gift you give yourself, but forgetting their patterns is a risk you cannot afford to take. You can release the pain, the anger, and the resentment without erasing the lessons they taught you. Forgive for your peace, but remember for your protection. Release the negativity, but hold on to the wisdom. Let go of the past, but never stop learning from it. True strength lies in knowing when to forgive, when to walk away, and when to never look back. Your peace is too valuable to be disrupted by the same mistake twice.